Hello, Collective. This is Tan from Artemis Oracle doing your reading for today. This was whenever you happen to come across it. Let's see what comes out for the collective. Let me bring this back. So I could bring this lower if it lets me. Just gonna have to tilt it that way. So I have the Fortune Oracle deck. Let's see what comes out for the fortune. What's your fortune message for today? Oh, one card stayed down. Let's see if it comes out. It was the Lion card, but let's see if it comes out. Why you always lying? Da, 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 da. I just thought of that song. Oh, wow. So I have 3 cards. Snake, your intuition and healing powers will guide you to a better path. Just be careful. So it's like beware. Number 28. So celebrations, number 5. You are ready to bring new and exciting things into your life. Okay, and 23. Owl. There are spiritual messages and great wisdom to be found during this period of transition. Okay, so your intuition and healing powers will guide you. I think some of you may be getting intuitive nudges, messages, and stuff. Maybe going through a healing journey. Maybe your ability to heal yourself and possibly heal others. I think in some ways all of us can be healers. You know, just being a good friend, being just someone that people can talk to, give great advice to, just be just a support system in some way is part of helping others heal, and also being there for ourselves and taking care of ourselves and meeting our own personal needs. That's how we help heal ourselves, you know, and we have to be in tune with that. And we are in the snake year. Whatever that snake year is going to end in February, right? Because the snake year is part of Chinese astrology. So we'll have the year of the horse in February 2026. So technically, 2025 is a 9-year. Yes. The year of the snake is from 2025. It was from February and 2025 until February 2026. And then we head into the new astrological new year. And that's when we have the first new moon. That's when the new year starts, right? The lunar new year starts. And then we have the first astrological new year. That's going to be when Aries season starts, which will be, I believe, in March 20th, 21st, around that time frame. Just giving you the but with the snake energy, it's about shedding, it's about healing, it's about releasing, it's about growing, expansion, it's overcoming or outgrowing certain situations, or outgrowing certain habits that we have, situations that we have, even outgrowing other people. There may be something that's going to be a cause of celebration for you, but it's like you have to be very careful right now, because when the snake energy comes out, when we're undergoing a healing process, you know, there may be certain tender points. So there may be certain triggers that may come up. It could be with certain situations, with people. It could be certain triggers like memories or things that we see, things we hear, that may bring us back to a tender point during our healing process. But it's like you're reaching the tail end of that, and there's going to be something to be celebrating, whether it's you getting a new job, you reaching some sort of personal or professional milestone, or it could be, you know, anything else happy that's going on, right? But it says you are ready to bring new and exciting things into your life. You know, we want new and exciting equals 5, which is change. Change is all about change. Renewal. 28 to 8, that's 10, reduces to 1. We're going to go into a 1 year next year, right? So it's about the self, it's about new beginnings, blank slate, fresh perspectives, welcoming new, taking, going into a new fool's journey, but not where you're going to be walking into things blindly, but you're going to be more aware, right? And it makes sense with the owl card coming out. 23 reduces down to 5 as well, which has to do with change. There are spiritual messages and great wisdom to be found during this period of transition. You know, as a snake is shedding its own skin, it's the same way when we're shedding old habits, belief systems that we have that have been taught to us in a way that it kind of trapped us and kind of made us small. And when snakes, they start to shed skin, it's because the skin that they're in is too tight. It doesn't suit them anymore. It served its purpose, and now they're entering into a new phase. They're transitioning, right? But you're going to be seeing some signs, synchronicities. You may be having dreams, you may be receiving messages. People may be saying things that kind of trigger something within you. And not triggers like it hurts or anything, but it could enlighten you in some way. It could trigger a thought, an idea, anything. But that's supposed to bring some level of understanding. Also to bring you some wisdom. Because sometimes wise people come into our lives. Even if it's just like a passing moment, they come into our lives and then they give us a message that we need to hear. And then you may never see those people again, right? So, at the bottom of the deck is moon. It's something that can be hidden, something that you don't see. My time, I see 555. The card 21 that reduces down to 3. Pay attention to your intuition and time. Oh, sorry. Pay attention to your intuition at this time and move ahead. And move ahead confidently. So it's like whatever like this transition is, it may be something that you may be doing in secret. Not many people know. It could be even shadow work, because when we think of the moon, it's something that comes out at night. We do see the moon during the daytime, you know, that happens too. But in the moon, we mostly refer to it as the night. That's when we know it's nighttime, when we start to see the moon at fully illuminated. So there may be something that you're going to be fully illuminated too. But like I said, you're going through this transition where there are going to be positive things happening whenever you come across this reading. But it's going to require you to also look at the bigger picture, because owls have really good line of vision. They have really good vision. So be open to receiving certain wisdom, certain information, messages. They may come from unlikely sources, is what I want to say. Okay. So I'm going to pull out the spirit animal deck. I don't get to use this deck as much as I'd like to. And it's one of my, I can't say it's my favorite because I don't use it a lot. So, but I love the imagery and the messages that come through with the deck. So let's see what's going on. So we have two animals showing up here. We have the snake and we have the owl. But let's see what animals we have. Oh my God, oops, the card just works. Do they have reverse meanings? Okay, so there is protection messages. So some of these cards may come out in reverse, and I'll note that. So what messages does the collective need to know at this time? What spirit animal messages do they need to know at this time? I didn't even get a chance to check the audio. Let's see. Perfect. Okay. The music back on. Okay. So what animal, spirit animal messages does the collective need to know? Oh, got one card coming out. Let's just stick with that one card. Oh, bad spirit, but they came out in the reverse. So bad spirit, a rebirth is reassured. Is assured, sorry, is assured. A rebirth is assured. I can't talk. La, la, la. Huh, okay. Snakes are associated with, you know, with the shedding skin is like kind of like a rebirth in a way. Number 5 came out. Okay, 555. We talked about 555. 5 with the celebrations card. 23 reduces down to 5. So your age may be 28, 23rd. That may be your date of birth, 21. The 5th may be significant to you. Bat spirit. Okay. I'm going to read the protection message since it came out in the reverse. Okay. What are you refusing to let die? Bat Spirit is gently nudging you to let go of your need to cling to the familiar story that has already run its course. A new story is poised to be born. Some dreams were meant to last for a moment in time. Sometimes they were only there to slow you down as you recalibrated in preparation for the new life that will give you what you really want. Perhaps you need to grieve as you say goodbye to something, or at least you're saying goodbye to its familiar form. Perhaps you must let go of a part of you that must die so you can be reborn. This temporary time in the dark doesn't have to be scary or sad, though. Bat Spirit gives you her powers of perception and awareness as you learn to listen deeply and navigate these unknown caves of temporary emptiness. You will emerge with a new perspective, and Bat Spirit will witness your giving birth to the life that matches the intentions and desires of your heart and soul. That's so interesting. So there may be certain things that you that need, there's basically with the 5 card, it's time to change something. Something needs to end. Something has already run its course and it's time to move on to starting a new chapter. And we did have that with the celebrations. You are ready to bring new and exciting things into your life. But if you're ready for the new and exciting things to enter your life, are there certain things that may be slowing you down from it happening? I was on Instagram, and I forgot what page it was, but somebody mentioned that they loved the winter season because it forces us to slow down. You know, in the spring and the summer, things happen very quickly. You want to go out, you want to be out and about, but during winter, it's about preparation, you know. In a way, it's kind of like your nesting period where you're preparing for something. And winter does have that tendency, depending on where you are. Right now in North America, at least the Northeast or the northern hemisphere, it's winter, you know. We had snow here in New York, and you know, that forces us to slow down. If you think about it, when you're walking in snow, you can't walk as fast as you would if there was no snow on the ground, right? Snow slows you down, you know. Winter, it kind of causes you to go into, you know, that like a nesting period where you're home and you're with your family, you're with yourself, and it could be like a moment of solitude, a moment of when I want to say coziness, but it's a coziness that you find within yourself, you know. And in those moments, you get to understand and realize that there are certain things you want to change in your life, that there are certain things that you need to remove, that don't serve its purpose, or it could just be anything that, you know, you may, it's like you have to change. Essentially, it's just changing, you know. And it's hard when the change is forced on you. It's easier when you're initiating the change, right? But when it's something that's being forced on you, it makes it difficult. But the thing is, it's like when it's being forced, we got to look at the reasons why. Is it external, like is it people, or is it just like something that some sort of circumstance that kind of causes a need for change? They're like, maybe you need to change something. Maybe something happened that is making you reevaluate something that needs to end. But the ending is what's going to lend for a new beginning, essentially. So I'm going to go into tarot. And now I want to clarify, because I have enough time, I want to clarify each of the cards. So some of you may have some sort of blockage, obstacle that may not be allowing. It could be yourself, you know. Sometimes we hold on tightly to the things that bring us comfort, but eventually that comfort turns into discomfort when it's not something that's right for you anymore. Okay, so what is the snake? Tell us about the snake. Okay, so it has to do with some sort of conflict. Past conflict that may have existed from as early as childhood, a conflict that you've been having to deal with since you were a child with the 6 of Cups. It's something that you may be healing. You know, it could be something to do with children too. We got the Fool card. you know, the Fool card. So we have the Five of Wands, Six of Cups. So some of you want, yeah, it's time for a new beginning. It's time for you to like look back on the past. Look at the lessons, look at the past conflicts and controversies, competition, adversaries, all that, from your past, even from as early as your childhood. It could even be with past, just the past itself. It doesn't have to go as far back as, but it could be you reminiscing on the times that you may have been foolish, where you may have been careless, that you took unnecessary risks. You may have even caused conflict and arguments and brought discord in some level. Maybe there were certain actions that you were taking that were conflicting with you, possibly conflicting with what you knew was right, or what you felt were what you knew was right, but it could have been mistakes that you've made in the past that you reflected on, where you felt like you were foolish, that you may have been naive and took unnecessary risks. But it's like with the Snake card, your intuition and healing powers will guide you to a better path. So it's like whatever you've experienced in the past and whatever you're feeling internally guided to do, you have to trust that, because you have the experience, you have the I'm going to say you're no longer a fool now, because now you know what you need to do to make sure that you're safe, how to defend yourself, how to protect that possibly precious part of yourself, and how to no longer be foolish, how you protect and prevent yourself from being foolish as you're going into a different path, as you're entering into a different path. But like maybe you've gotten into things with people who were deceptive, but it's like you took that risk anyway. But it depends on the situation itself. So we got Five of Celebrations. What is the celebrations? Five of Celebrations. Celebrations? Tell me about celebrations. Tell me about celebrations. Okay. We have the King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles is about legacy, not legacy, sorry, that's the Ten of Pentacles. But the Page of Swords, the King of Pentacles, Page of Swords, Seven of Wands. So there's going to be some sort of communication that may have to do with, and maybe a communication that you receive from a King of Pentacles, an Earth sign energy, that may have to do with money. It could do with a job opportunity. It could be about how to build your wealth, how to bring more stability. It could be that you may be leveling up. Like you've done a lot of learning, a lot of observation. You've protected what you valued, and now you're going to be reaping some sort of reward from that. But King of Pentacles, but it says King of Pentacles, Page of Swords. King of Pentacles is someone who is reliable, stable, financially abundant, hardworking, responsible, diligent. Someone who it's just very, maybe even stubborn, because the bull's there, So, but it's like, maybe there is a King of Pentacles bringing some sort of message, but you may have your guard up because you may have experienced things in the past that brought conflict, that you may have been naive in the past, but now that you know more, and you're being very more or you're going to be more careful, more discerning. You're going to have your guard up when this message comes in, but it's going to be something that brings you happiness, because the Sun is on the bottom of the deck. What's influence? And Two of Cups. So it's about a partnership, possibly a partnership with a Queen of Cups. And Earth signs and water signs are supposedly compatible with each other, because they bring some sort of balance, where water signs are very sensitive, emotional, very caring. Earth signs tend to be more stable, secure, and grounding. I mean, water signs can be secure and stable, but earth signs are more grounded or more grounded. But with the sun, happiness, two of cups, and the queen of cups with the king of pentacles. So there may be a king of pentacles that's watching you. I also want to say this king of pentacles can be somebody who is defending you in some way. I don't know, this is so weird. I want to say fights for you because the seven of wands is someone who's in the defense. But with the sun, the two of cups, it's like happiness, it's a partnership. But so there may be somebody coming forward. The two of cups. This is interesting. Yeah, it could be some sort of partnership. It doesn't have to be romantic. It doesn't have to be romantic because we see the two of cups and the queen of cups. So there may be some type of offer coming in. It could be from a queen of cups energy. It could be a water sign energy or someone who's very caring, compassionate, or just someone who's abundant and stable, ungrounded. There may be some sort of partnership that's going to bring some level of happiness because there's certain information that the king of cups is receiving. The king of pentacles is receiving, And it's information that he's also guarding too, that he's protecting. He's defending. But whatever it is, it's going to bring happiness. It's a positive. Yeah, because celebration, it makes sense. Celebration is a positive thing. But what is this? What's the message from the page? Because the page of swords is someone who's observant, provides information, receives information, gains information. But what is this? Page of Cups with the Four Wands. Oh, wow. You know what I'm getting? Some of you, I feel like some of you may be receiving some sort of gift. Some of you may even, this is, because the page of, somebody's going to come in with a message. They're getting some information, they're gathering information. It could be information that they're guarding, but they are like, with the page of cups and the four of wands, that's indicating like somebody wants to come forward with a message. But page of cups is emotions. It could be apology, right? But four of wands has to do with the home, stability, celebrations, happiness, getting together. So maybe somebody was going to express a desire to have something more, like some of you may be getting engaged or your relationship is taking a different, it's leveling up in some way. Okay. It could be that. Now, I want to know what this owl is. What is this owl? These could be separate messages. I'll sum it up in the end. For the owl, 4 cups. King of wands. Oh, and the king of cups. With the 10 of pentacles. Wow. Okay, so the owl. Sorry. The 4 cups. Okay. So there are spiritual messages and great wisdom to be found during this period of transition. So some of you may be in a period where you're feeling discontent, like all the offers that you have been receiving have been disappointing, maybe feeling emotionally drained or just like, the best way I could feel is like meh. You feel like meh, like you feel like apathetic. That's the word I want to use. Like as you're going through this transition, but it's like there's going to be some sort of inspiration that may be coming into you through messages that you're receiving, spiritual messages, or anything that's going to incite some sort of inspiration within you that kind of lights a fire within you, right? With the King of Wands and the King of Cups. It's going to be something that you're really passionate about, but it's also something that you really care about. But it could also be that some of you may be receiving an offer or two offers, but we have three kings here with the King of Cups, the King of Wands, and the King of Pentacles with the Ten of Pentacles. And then we saw the Four of Wands that has to do with stability, family, legacy with the Ten of Pentacles, right? Generational wealth, family, stability, a firm, stable, solid home, stability within the home. And then we have Six of Wands underneath with the Hierophant. Okay, some of you are going to get married. You're going to, Ace of Cups. Yeah, I feel like oh my God, with the Knight of Cups and the Ten of Cups. Jeez Louise. But the Six of Swords is like some of you are leaving. Like you're transitioning out of a phase of discontent, dissatisfaction, apathy, where you feel like you haven't been satisfied. Like everything that you've experienced in the past has basically like just taught you so much about yourself, taught you how to be more wiser, more discerning, to know your value, know that you deserve more, whether it's within your career or your personal life. Maybe it's a lot forcing you, or like not forcing, that's the worst word to use, but it has taught you how to find happiness within yourself, to pursue what brings you happiness, how to ground yourself, center yourself, but also, to be more discerning with the information that you're receiving so that you make wise decisions. Because you see a lot of kings here, and then we have the Hierophant showing up too. And the Hierophant is a spiritual advisor. It could be a priest. It could be a teacher. It could be someone who's wise. But it also has to do with institutions, and also marriage. But then when you have the Ten of Pentacles with the Six of Wands, that is indicating that there's something positive happening. And it could be happening within an institution, or it could have to do with commitment, a contract of something, of some sort. But when we have we have 10-10, right? The Ten of Pentacles with the Ten of Cups and the Knight of Cups with the Ace of Cups. Like this is a lot of love. It's a lot of love. And I don't know if you resonate with being a feminine energy or masculine energy, but it's like somebody is either going to meet someone who is their emperor, or someone is becoming an emperor. But there may be something that is causing like some sort of delay, but I feel like it's like this could be like the fortune cards are basically like advice. Like if you're feeling like you're stuck, that you aren't seeing any changes, there may be certain things that you need to release. With the snake is about shedding skin, trusting in yourself and your ability to heal. Knowing that once you reach this level, a higher level of healing within yourself, that there's going to be something for you to celebrate. And that you may be getting some sort of messages or guidance. And it could be through like signs and synchronicities. It could be numbers. If you see numbers, you look them up. If you see animals, you look them up. But you're going through a transition right now. I want to say you're going through a phase. Pay attention to your intuition at this time and move ahead confidently. Trust in yourself. Trust that you will make the right decisions and that the answers lie within you. If there is some, like, if I'm going to go read each card separately, like, so 28 with the snake, like some of you maybe had issues with following your intuition. Maybe there was something that happened during your childhood that caused you to not really trust in yourself and possibly take unnecessary risks. But now that you've learned, or you're learning how to be more discerning and careful with how you do things, right? So when we look at the celebrations card as a separate reading, we have the King of Pentacles with Page of Swords and Seven of Wands, right? So there may be something that you want, maybe something that you've been working towards, but you've been, being very careful, maybe even Page of Swords is known as being the stalker. So some of you may have been like maybe be like a little bit hyper vigilant, you know, making sure that whatever you've been working on, you've been making sure to protect yourself, protect your work, because whatever it is, it has a lot of value to you. You really care about it. And it's something that you've been working really hard on, right? But then with the Queen of Cups, Two of Cups, and the Sun, it's something that it's something that whatever you have been working on and that you have been taking care of, like treating like kind of like a baby, I want to say, because he's the sun, it's going to bring some sort of rewards that it's going to bring a lot of happiness to you. It's going to make you, it could be something that you're working on that is tied to childhood. It could be something that you've been passionate and cared about since you were a child. But with the Two of Cups, it's bringing some sort of partnership. But like I said, it could be something that you've been nurturing, because the Pentacles, it has to do with Earth. And Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles is a nurturing. We don't have the Queen of Pentacles showing up, but I'm putting that in there because we have the Queen of Cups. So this is someone who is nurturing. So it's something that you're, a partnership that you want to nurture. If this is a relationship, this is a relationship that you have been nurturing, that you've been pouring into, and that has been pouring back into you, because it's Two of Cups. And some of you, and with the Four of Wands and the Page of Cups being at the bottom of the deck, that's kind of like indicating that this could be some sort of a relationship or a marriage. So something, it could be like an engagement or something. Some of you may be getting engaged, or possibly there could be some sort of celebration that you're be going to, that you are going to be meeting someone who can be your match, you know? And it could be someone who is guarded. It could be someone who's younger. You know, someone who's maybe younger, but maybe mature, you know, because we have the Page of Swords with the King of Pentacles. This person can have money. Now, when we go to the Owl, we had the Four of Cups with the King of Cups and the King of Wands. So it's like, there is spiritual messages. It's about having confidence in yourself. You know, maybe some of you have lost your confidence, especially when it comes to situations with love, or something that you have been working towards. But there could be some information, messages, guidance that you're receiving that's going to help you along the way. But then, you know, like I mentioned with the celebrations cards, the Hierophant, this could have to do with you having a bit more faith, maybe having to turn to faith, some sort of spiritual practice, maybe religious. If you are religious, you could go to church, pray, seek out advice from a wise advisor, you know. But it's about, with the Ten of Pentacles being underneath and the Six of Wands, it's like, it's going to be some level of victory and success when it comes to finances, you know? So maybe it's like you've been putting your work towards something, and something you really care about, passionate about, something that you put a lot of effort in with the King of Pentacles. So if you're tying back everything, and then the King is something you care about, King of Cups, something that you're passionate about, King of Wands, something that may be of a creative venture, and something that you've been putting a lot of work with. But your devotion, I want to say, because the Hierophant, I just thought about devotion. Your faith, your faithfulness towards something is going to bring abundance. It could be abundance within your family structure, you having more stability, being more financially stable. But it's also about possibly having a new beginning when it comes to love, where there's a lot of happiness, there's harmony, you know. With the Page of Swords facing the King of Pentacles, it's making me think that this is someone who's doing a lot of work, a lot of research, getting information, observing, because they want to reach this level of stability. Someone is working on becoming an emperor, you know, with all these other kings coming out. But it's like with the Six of Swords coming out, it's like you have to move away from something that has been an eternal mental conflict within yourself. And that could be anything. Like it could be your belief system. It could be moving past your traumas, healing your past traumas, being more discerning, as I mentioned before. So, let's see. What is the advice? With the bad spirit, what's the advice? Eight of Pentacles, continue to be focused. Continue to be focused, you know? But don't Another one is some people tend to overwork and that could get in the way. So if you are someone who's distracting yourself but with work or other things, placing your focus on other things, that could be what's causing some bit of stagnation that's not allowing this transition to move smoothly, if it's something that has slowed down. So it could be you need to slow down. Maybe there's something that you need to focus on, or you need to not distract yourself with like the minutia, like the little details. Anything else? Yeah, continue to, don't let your, sometimes you can work so much that you can lose sight of the passion, the reason why you're doing something. So don't lose sight of why you're doing something, with the Queen of Wands, it's about someone who's creative, passionate. They put a lot of energy towards what they care about, what they love, what they're creating, right? Because the Wands is it's about acting to create, right? It's about growth. But don't get so caught up in something that, you're looking at the little details, distracting yourself with the little details that you're kind of causing some sort of stagnation and even letting your fire burn out, Don't lose sight of why you're working towards something. Any other advice? 3 of Cups. Yeah, well, I would say that too. Make sure you make time to have fun, because with the Eight of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, make sure to have fun. Make sure that you take time to have fun. And underneath that, it's so funny, because this whole chunk of cards came out flipped, but the Three of Cups with the Death card, So make sure to have fun. Allow this rebirth to happen. Maybe you doing that is what's going to allow the bad spirit to come in the upright and allow you to go through this rebirth and then shed whatever you need to do and face, be able, I don't want to say face celebrate. What do you want to face celebration? You want to be happy, right? So, allow the celebration, the good energy, the positive energy, the new energy to come into your life, Look, yeah. This was under the world. Yeah. Whatever it is, it's like once you close that cycle out, it's what's going to allow you to restart a cycle, start that new full journey, but you're going to be wiser and more discerning. Like I keep saying, be more discerning, trust your intuition here. You got to trust yourself and you got to know how your intuition works for you, But once you release, shed, let something that needs to die, then you're going to be ending the cycle and then you're going to be starting a new one where there's going to be something worth celebrating, something worth celebrating. So I'm going to end the reading there. I hope this was helpful in some way. If it was, please like, share, and subscribe to Artemis Oracle. My name is Tan. I'm your reader, and I'm wishing you a great day, afternoon, or evening ahead. Bye.